It's tillage time in western Kentucky, and Big Tractor Power is out in the field with 3 John Deere 9420R four-wheel drive tractors rated at 420 horsepower. These big tractors are pulling Wishek 826 NT discs. The discs are preparing the ground for the 2019 winter wheat crop to be planted. These big discs are equipped with 30-inch blades that chop up the corn residue, bury the stalks, and help incorporate lime and fertilizer to help the new crop get off to a good start. So we're going to spend some time in the field hearing and seeing these big machines at work, climbing up in the cab, and talking about their importance in raising a new crop. Let's take a brief look at the four-wheel drive tractors and the discs and the work that they do on this western Kentucky farm throughout the year and how they are very important to raising the crops. Western Kentucky is a region of the United States where the Midwest meets the South. This allows for large Midwestern-style farming with longer growing seasons because of the warm southern climate. The season gets underway around mid-March, and it will start with corn planting around St. Patrick's Day on March 17th. The corn grows and is harvested in mid-August. Starting around the 15th of August, combines start harvesting the corn. And that's where the Wishek discs come in. After the corn harvest is completed in mid-September, the ground is turned over, fertilizer and lime is incorporated, and the fields are smoothed out by these big Wishek discs so that winter wheat can be planted around the 10th of October. Here we can see a big Horsch Anderson drill, 60 feet wide, rolling across the corn ground, putting in the 2019 winter wheat crop. These big tractors and drills are important for getting the crop in a timely manner, as all of the corn ground is turned over to be planted into winter wheat. This is a unique rotation in cropping. Usually winter wheat does not follow corn, but in western Kentucky, because of the southern climate, wheat harvest is completed in early June, and this allows all of the winter wheat ground to be double cropped into soybeans. Double cropping means that you get 2 crops out of one field in 1 year. Here we can see that big Horsch Anderson drill coming back across the field, no-tilling the soybean seeds into the ground. The seeds are put directly into the soil underneath the wheat stubble, and the surface is not disturbed. And this wheat becomes a soybean field. Here we can see the soybeans emerging out of the wheat stubble and growing, and they'll grow throughout the summer when they are harvested in the month of October. So this kind of gives you a view of the cropping season in western Kentucky and the important role these big John Deere 9420R four-wheel drives take throughout the year, and how the Wishek discs are important for getting the crops in the ground. How are you today? Good. Looks like it's working up well. in the cab of the John Deere 9420R. This is a 2018 model. It's got the 100 years of John Deere tractor production decal on the side of the hood. This tractor is pulling a Wishek disc, plowing up corn stalks, getting this field ready to plant the 2019 winter wheat crop. You can see behind us we've got a John Deere 7210R. It's also a 2018 model. We'll climb up in the cab of that tractor as well. Running a McFarlane harrow, smoothing out the ground behind the disc. Normally they wouldn't be running this close, but we're working on the headland and finishing up the field. And we've got another 2018 9420R back there with the Wishek disc plowing another pass on the headland, and there's a third 9420R disc behind that. We're running up here with my friend Matt, who's driving the tractor.
Hey guys.
Matt, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and the Wishek and everything?
Yeah, we're just disking corn stalks, getting ready to plant wheat here probably the next week or so. I'd say whenever we get done, we're probably, I'd say half done.
Well, this sure can really plow up the ground. How big of a blade does that disc have?
It's got a 30-inch blade. We're going about 8 inches deep. I'd say 6 to 8 inches, somewhere in there.
It looks like we're running about 5.5 miles per hour or so, 5 miles.
Yeah, 5.5 to 6. And we can pull it. Some places are pretty hard, so we gotta slow down a little bit. But it's we had a nice rain, so the ground's in really good shape.
It's nice to be able to look out here and see all these tractors. Usually when I film you guys doing this tillage, it's in a cloud of dust and you can hardly see the harrow tractors.
Yeah, a lot of times this time of year it's pretty dry, but we've had plenty of rain the last week, so.
We can see, looking up here, the headland's a little more compacted. It pulls a little harder, but you can see the difference between the plowed up area and the area that we're going over. What size disc are you running?
It's a 26 foot.
So it's pretty, with 30-inch blades, that puts this 420 horsepower tractor to work, I'm sure, in spots.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the farm's got, 34 foot models of these 826 NTs going.
That's right.
And you can see we're using, what kind of GPS does the farm use when you're doing this?
We're just auto track straight line guidance. Unless we got a terrace field or something, then we'll run curve GPS. But no, it's just straight track, auto track. Just steers the tractor in a straight line across the field.
Well, I appreciate the ride, and definitely nice view back there with all those other tractors following us. As we discussed up in the cab of the 9420R with Matt, the farm is running 7 of these big Wishek discs, 3 26-foot models and 4 34-foot models. One is on a Challenger MT875E tractor, and 3 are on John Deere 9620R four-wheel drives. Here we can see the first 9620R pulling that 34-foot 826 NT Wishek. Here is the second 9620R turning over corn ground. They work in sections of the field to get as much ground covered as possible, as this farm will be seeding 11,000 acres of winter wheat, and they have a lot of ground to turn over. And here is that third 9620R and Wishek disc. The Wishek discs do an excellent job, whether they're 26-foot models or 34-foot models, in turning over the ground. The large 30-inch blades just churn in the soil, churning over the ground, throwing the fresh soil on the surface and burying the corn stalks, preparing the seed bed. They really help fight disease and carryover and burying those stalks, but they do leave the ground a little bit rougher than the farm would like for seeding a new crop. So a second tillage implement is pulled across the field. It's a McFarlane harrow. It's a drag, and it simply knocks the clods off the surface and does an extra smoothing pass ahead of the air drill. The Wishek 826 NT discs remind me of a moldboard plow and their ability to turn over the ground. Those big 30-inch blades are digging 8 inches deep, and you can compare the surface of the soil and the plowing ability of those discs to this moldboard plow. You can see how the moldboard plow completely erases the stubble and the residue on the surface and turns over a very nice clean seed bed. And the Wishek discs almost have this capability of a plow and their ability to work the ground. The Wishek disc can move a lot faster than a plow and cover a lot more ground, and they leave it a little bit smoother in its ability to have the ground ready to plant in almost one pass. They just have to use the harrow to smooth out the surface just to make it a little bit smoother, but there's not really a lot of soil moving action after the Wishek goes through. And again, you can just see how those plow blades work the ground just like those 30-inch disc blades. So you can see here's what the surface of the field looks like after the Wishek disc buries those corn stalks, and then the McFarlane harrow comes across and just smooths out the surface, knocking out the clods just a little bit. Not a lot of soil turning over, just smoothing it out and getting ready to put those new seeds in the soil. So let's climb up in the cab of this John Deere 7210R tractor and see the operator's perspective of running the harrow. We're up in the cab of the John Deere 7210R tractor pulling the McFarlane harrow. You can see it's a pretty bumpy ride. The disc does a great job in burying the corn stalks and getting the soil ready to plant seeds, but they need that smoothing action of the McFarlane harrow to get the seed bed good and solid. Because if the air drill was going across the field and bouncing as much as this tractor was, you wouldn't have an even emergence of the winter wheat crop. So the operator has a bumpy ride ahead of him for a few days, but it's well worth it to get a good crop out of the next season's harvest. Earlier, when we were up in the cab of the John Deere 9420R tractor with Matt, he mentioned that the tractors are guided by GPS, and you'll notice on the roof of the tractor there is a yellow globe. That's a John Deere Green Star 3000 receiver, and it communicates with a satellite in outer space, and that satellite helps guide the tractor on a perfect 26-foot pass across the field. In the next 5-minute clip, we're going to see and hear these big tractors working in a team going across the field, and they use that GPS to communicate with each other. What you'll see is the lead tractor, when he hits the headland, is going to loop out 78 feet to a new area of the field that has not been disked yet. That tractor will start in, and then the other two tractors will loop in right behind him. When the last tractor hits the ground, there will only be 26 feet of unplowed ground. So this GPS is pretty neat in allowing the tractors to work as a team. Each tractor will disc about 18 acres in an hour. The operators are working about a 15-hour day, so one tractor can cover 270 acres in a day, and in an ideal, perfect condition day, all three tractors are going to disc up 810 acres. So let's watch over the next 5 minutes how these tractors work out in the field. I hope that you've enjoyed watching these John Deere 9420R four-wheel drive tractors in 26-foot wide, 30-inch disc-blade Wishek 826 NT discs, as well as learning about the cropping process that they're involved in on this Western Kentucky farm. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there are over 1,000 videos of farm machines in action. If you're already a subscriber, thank you, and make sure to check the Big Tractor Power YouTube homepage often, as new videos are posted every 2 to 3 days. If you have any thoughts or questions about this video, please share them in the comment section below, as I try to respond to every post that is made. If you would like to get a preview of what is coming to Big Tractor Power YouTube next, make sure to check out Big Tractor Power Instagram, where I share pictures and short video clips of what's currently being filmed in the field. As always, thank you for watching.